Do you have the worst government in the whole of the USA? I kind of got that. Dawn is darkest before dawn, but provided you keep your nerve and keep your resolve, it's amazing what you can achieve. Free people never, ever willingly want to give up the right to govern themselves.
Are you revved up? And by the way, you know who he also revs up from time to time? President Trump. Look at these two guys together. Nigel Farage saw the potential in Donald Trump way before a lot of the other political pros did. Nigel Farage, welcome back to Newsmax. How are you, sir?
Greg, yeah, thank you. I'm great, thanks. I seem to be in a different state every day, talking to audiences. I've been on the road now for a month in the USA. I've got 2 more weeks to go. And yeah, you know, as you introduced it, a lot of conservatives have been going through a period of virtually mourning since the November elections, and there are lots of reasons to be upset. Questions about election integrity, division in big American cities, and all sorts of horrible proposals from the Biden administration. But the message, Greg, I'm bringing is this. We got Brexit in 2016, and you know, nearly 3 years later, Brexit hadn't been delivered, and we had some of the left-wing media boasting that Brexit was never going to happen. And do you know what we did? We launched a massive grassroots fight back. I led that fight back. We smashed the establishment in the European elections. We got rid of Mrs. May, who was a treacherous prime minister. And now, not only have we got Brexit done, which is the biggest geopolitical shift since the fall of the Berlin Wall, but here's the really good news for America. The Socialist Labour Party, who'd gone in a leftwards direction, embraced cancel culture, happy to talk down everything about the UK and its history. Socialism in England right now is unconscious, on its back, on the floor. We've beaten socialism too. And you know something? If we can do that against the entirety of the global establishment, America can come back and score fantastic wins too. That's the message. And there's no point being down and disillusioned. The grassroots, who are one of the vital parts of any campaign, have got to get themselves organized and mobilized. And that's what I'm here trying to inspire.
We love it. Hey, you're inspiring me right now. Very much so. The Queen of England. I didn't know that. I knew she made a speech, but I didn't know she got into facts like this or matters like this. Here she is on election integrity, and it's something.
My government will strengthen and renew democracy and the Constitution. Legislation will be introduced to ensure the integrity of elections, protect freedom of speech, and restore the balance of power between the executive, legislature, and the courts. My ministers will promote the strength and integrity of the Union.
Now, I was told that she is supportive in that message of a voter ID. Is that a fair takeaway from what she was just saying there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was so proud of those sentences. I mean, I should really be standing to attention right now as I speak to you. We have had postal mail-out ballots going on in England for the last 20 years, and a lot's gone wrong with it. So what the government now wants to do is to re-establish the integrity of elections, and showing voter ID is an absolute minimum, and how the crazy leftists in America can portray voter ID as somehow being racist in Georgia and elsewhere is, Greg, absolutely beyond me. No, I thought what she said was absolutely right. And here's the funny thing. As much as the left in America shout racist at everything, I think people have stopped listening. If you actually look at the opinion polls, the vast majority of Americans, including half of Democrat voters, think voter ID is the right way to go.
By the way, in London, it got really out of hand today. Anti-Semitic protests. We have video of this, and it's pretty intense. Let's go ahead and roll it, please. This just came in a couple of hours ago, and let's take it full. Okay, those are Hamas flags, I believe, some of them, and Palestinian flags, perhaps. You know what? Quite frankly, all right, I see a bunch of cars and flags. I don't see violence. I don't see any. Let's listen for a moment. Yeah. What we're hearing here are some vile anti-Semitic statements where we bleep them out. I wasn't expecting this in London.
I have to say, I think it's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my country in my life. And just to give some context to that, all that was happening in the Jewish areas of North London. It was intimidatory, must have been absolutely terrifying for the people living there. And it must not be tolerated. We cannot allow this. Do you know, Greg, already there are Jewish families fleeing Brussels, fleeing Paris, moving to Israel and elsewhere because they feel they can't live safely in society. I do not want this to come to London. Boris Johnson has made, a couple of tweets about this, but we need the police to enforce the law. Because I tell you what, I mean, if a group of white working class guys had held that abuse, they'd all be in prison as we speak. So we need the law to be applied equally. And I'm absolutely disgusted by the whole affair.
Nigel, as we go to break, I want to put your tour schedule up, and thank you for appearing on Newsmax. If you want to see Nigel in person, there are some of the locations. Let's see here. We're at the Cincinnati, Ohio is tomorrow, Palm Beach, Florida after that. And for more information, go to FreedomWorks or check out Nigel Farage's Twitter. Excellent, sir. Continued success. Safe travels. All the best.
Thank you.